Alright, that's enough of that. I'm definitely not trying to get in any way sued by anybody for their song. By the way, that was Rini. The song was called Aphrodite. I love his music, love his music. Everybody please go check him out, if you haven't. Well, welcome everybody back to Travel with LA, and I am back with another video. As you can tell by the title, this is a very different video. As you can tell by my look, this is a very different look. So I have been 9 months locked today, and not just 9 months locked, but 9 months semi-freeform locked, which is an incredibly different experience, to say the least. Which is why I'm actually coming to you guys today with this video, because I have so many questions, and I'm trying to reach out to people within the lock community, people within the semi-freeform lock community, people that aren't in it yet but are thinking about getting in it, people that want to be in it but don't know how to be in it, people that are starting it and are going through the same exact frustrations and confusion and love, and just, as you can tell, it's been interesting. So before I actually get into my questions, just to kind of give you some background of where I'm at, but also probably just to maybe give y'all a look as to where I'm at also with my hair. So I'll come into the camera a little bit, give y'all a little, you know, my baby's a little bit more tamed this morning, which I appreciate thoroughly. So this is the side I hope you guys can see. This is the back. I was able to get into a bun. My little baby's in the back. Yeah. The side again. And now we're back in the front. Okay, so a little bit of background. I actually started my journey August 7th in 2019. So I am approaching my 1-year anniversary. I have videos each month of how I've maintained my locks, how like they actually are locks now, but just kind of like maintaining what twists look like in the beginning, what the budding stages look like. So for me, just to kind of give like a very brief synopsis, this is my second set of locks. In the second set, I was very clear on, for me, what I wanted to accomplish with this set. So for me, I don't like maintaining my locks. And not to say maintaining as far as doing a retwist, but I don't like adding too much tension to it each day. I am the person that goes days without moisturizing. I am the person that washes once a month. But when I wash this hair, it's washed, it's clean, it's moisturized, but it's only once a month. I think back in my first lock journey, I was trying to figure it out. And I think, and originally I got it for aesthetic purposes. I loved what it did for my look. Whereas this look, I'm really loving, or I've loved, or I started it because I love what it did for my spirit, what it did for my soul. So I think this was a very different experience just altogether, and just what it is for me, how I wanted them to be shaped. I knew for me I also wanted them to be big. Now I'll get into some other details about that, but I knew I wanted my locks to be big. I knew I didn't want a lot of locks, and so I started off with 44. I eventually then merged together 2 on each side, here and here, because I'm also a person who has thin hair. So for me, I saw gradually how the lock was not forming into the size that I knew I needed it to be, and I wanted to make sure I provided it support early on in the game. So I merged those 2, so now I'm at 40 locks. So I want to get into questions, because y'all know I do not like making long videos, but I just wanted to give you some background, a little bit of kind of where I'm at, and let's get into them. So I have my questions on the side, so please be mindful. So my first question, and I also, as I ask the question, I'm going to answer the question, but I also want you to answer these questions for yourself, because I want to create a dialogue and a space for people to come together within this community and talk about this. Because as I was going through this process of all of this to get this to where this is at, there's not much information on this at all. Like, whether you look on YouTube, whether you are answering or asking questions about why does my hair butt up at, you know, the 7th stage, there's really not a lot of information. It seems like a lot of people are going based off of their own journeys, which is completely understandable. But I think as somebody that is taking this journey with way more intent, I think for me, I have to do that research to say, is this normal? Like, what I'm going through is just this, is this what my hair is? And then you start asking questions like, what is my hair? Who is my hair? Like, how does this all work upstairs? So my first question to the community is, during your experience in being semi-freeformed or even being locked, did you experience excessive dryness? For me, I want to say my excessive dryness, I really started to notice it heavily on the 8th month. Because with excessive dryness to my hair also caused my scalp to be incredibly itchy. And I didn't know what that was about. I was experiencing itchings. For me specifically, it was here. It's in my crown. I experienced excessive itchiness. And so, you know, some people will say, like, if your scalp is always itchy, that means your roots are always growing. Listen, I don't know how true that is, but if there is a solution, I'm gonna try to find one. And that's exactly what I did. And so I went on YouTube because I thought that was an indicator that my hair needed moisture. And so what did I do? I looked up different YouTube videos of what kind of moisture would be utilized. So in the beginning, I was using water. And then after me using water, I started using water and conditioner. And then I only twist with oils, but I'll also get to that later. But I was only using water and conditioner. And then I found somebody, her name is Halise, on YouTube, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing her name correctly. And she talked about using rose water, vitamin E oil, and essential oil, and using glycerin, vegetable glycerin. And I tried that method out, and I thought it worked beautifully on my hair. I mean, like, I even got my, like, little babies, my little loose babies, to, like, curl kind of on their own with using kind of like this mixture. So I was just kind of like, oh my God, this is amazing. But there were still some things that I felt was missing from my moisture routine. So I recently, shout out to my best friend Maham, I recently was talking to my best friend, and she's like, use mustard seed oil, but the process in which you would use that, or the process that you would go about utilizing this oil, is you would place the oil, soak your hair in the oil, kind of almost very similar to a hot oil treatment, but without the heat. So you're utilizing your natural heats, closing it up, you're soaking your hair, putting your scarf, putting your bonnet, and soaking in that for 3 days straight. And on the 3rd day, that is when you officially do your washout, and there will be a significant difference in the change in the moisture of your hair. And so I did do that last month, and I can say that I do feel that it has done something to it. When I washed it out, there was a very significant difference in what I felt was my moisture and my texture on my hair. So I can say that so far, so good. So that's one, right? And then I think I've also done a couple of different researches, like researching on YouTube, and different just kind of articles that talk about, you know, understanding what your hair type may be, understanding what the pattern may be, and that may cause some importance into what oils can help to penetrate, but also can help to seal the hair properly. And so I had ordered, I'm used to using avocado oil, I'm used to using sweet almond oil, I'm used to using grapeseed oil, I'm used to using very light oils, but the one oil that I've been hearing so much about and that people have been raving about is jojoba oil. And so I actually utilized that last night before I did this video, because this week I've actually been moisturizing my hair every single day, where I will spray my rose water vitamin E oil glycerin moisture mixture with the essential oil of my choice on my edges, and I'll brush that in, and then I'll use the rose water to spray all over my entire hair, moisturize that in, and then I use the sweet almond oil, you know, just rubbed it in my hands, placed it all over, massaged that in, use peppermint oil on my scalp to stimulate the main area of itchiness, which is my, I guess this is the base. Utilize that to do it that way, and it honestly felt like it worked out. And I sealed it with the jojoba oil. So after all of that, sealing it, and when I woke up this morning and I looked at my hair and I'm like moving it, I'm like, oh, this feels different. And like, not different, of course, in a bad way. Like, it felt really, really good. So I think for me, understanding now that that also needs to be added as a part of my routine. And so the mustard seed oil I do once a month before each wash. So I'll do the 3 days hair soaking and then wash out, and then I will apply my regular oil routine. I do not retwist. I only retwist in 3 months, in 3 month spans. So I like my hair to grow out as much as possible. Okay, that answer was incredibly long, so I want to make sure we're getting to the other questions because this video is already long. Second question, what products do you use? How has it worked for you? So you have already known, like I said, I use grapeseed, I use avocado, I've also used hemp oil. I use that actually on my edges because my edges sometimes can feel very light, very thin, very fragile. So I heard hemp oil was a good natural oil to utilize. If you have any types of extra oils that you are like, no, this is the oil for you, please send it in. Please let me know. I do not use coconut oil. I do not use castor oil. Yes, like, just as a disclaimer. So remember that question, right? Because I do want you guys to come down in the comment box and tell me what the answers to. I want you to answer these along with me. So like I said, that way we can create a community and a dialogue. And so once again, what products have you used and what has worked for you thus far within this particular journey? My third question is, when you started off your locks, did you use gel? For me, the answer to that is yes. The gel that I utilized was aloe vera gel. It's a gel that it can be picked up in your local beauty supply store. It is great. It is an incredibly light gel. Its properties are very natural, so you're able to utilize it in multiple places all over your body. It's actually really good for using for sunburns. And I like getting into different oils and different products that I can utilize for multiple reasons. So if you have used the gel, tell me, what gel have you used? Has it worked for you? I know some people have created their own flaxseed gel at home. But for me, I think I know my hair works best with oils. It also reduces my buildup tremendously. Because for me, buildup will show up immediately on my scalp, on my hair. How many locks do you have? And have you experienced thinning due to the amount of locks? So whether it's more locks or whether it is less locks. So for me, like I said, technically I started off with 44 and I have 40. Have I experienced thinning in certain areas? Yes. The areas that I have parted, because I did not part this with any kind of real, because I started this all myself. I did not part this with any kind of real intention of wanting small at all. For me, it was very much, it was medium to big. That was what I was going with. But when it came down to my edges, I parted a little bit smaller because I was aware that my hair there can be thin and can break off quickly. And because this was an experience that I've never had as of yet, I wanted to be mindful that my hair may have a hard time adjusting to this properly. So I made certain ones smaller, but what now I'm seeing is the thick ones, of course, are thriving, but the thinner ones are experiencing almost thinning at the root. But what I think is participated to that is the fact that I retwist every 3 months. And I'm trying to allow my hair to kind of grow into itself, but instead it actually tries to push any of the loose hairs out. So like I showed you guys, this is just an example of a piece of loose hair that's out, whereas there are parts of loose hairs that are out all over my head and are just pushing themselves out of my locks consistently. So if you have any kind of recommendations on what I should do, I've crocheted those pieces of hair back in to prevent me from doing the retwist and specifically palm rolling. I've seen videos on people saying interlocking is good. I don't actually like interlocking at all. It actually makes my scalp feel like it's too tight. So interlocking for me does not feel good. But if you have any kind of recommendations or any kind of things that any kind of understanding that you're like, no, this makes sense and this is what your hair is probably going through. And like I said, I just turned 9 months, so I've been dealing with that level of that probably since my 4 months. So if you have any kind of recommendations, any kind of suggestions, that would be helpful. How many... Oh, have you started locks before? Yes. Second set, definitely a more intentional set for sure. My first set of locks, I had a lot. I definitely had a lot, but they were definitely thin, and I also dyed my locks. I have nothing against anybody who dyes their locks. One, it's your hair. Do as you like. I think for me, I am very intentional on what dyeing, bleaching, all of that did to my hair. And I think that it's not good for me to personally go about that route as of yet, when I'm still trying to figure out different components to my hair. So just trying to be responsible with what I know and just try to take care of it as best as possible to, you know, get the strength up enough so if I do decide one day I want to dye it, then it'll be ready for me to dye. And my last question was, how did you start your locks? Did you start your locks with a 2-strand twist? I know, 2-strand twist. I know I did. Did you start your locks with finger coils? Did you start your locks with braids? Did you start your locks with actual weave? Like, and when I say that, meaning like box braids or a crochet style, and then just let it grow from there because you may have wanted to skip those stages. I know for me, for my first set of locks, I actually did do that. I had my hair in, I had kinky twist in for 9 months, and I took it out, and that's how I went on, because I wanted to skip that stage as I tried to start my lock experience in high school, and I started with finger coils, and my hair just, the minute water touched it, poof, everything was gone and done. And I was also told my texture of hair was too soft and or too delicate to even hold the finger coil properly. So I wanted to make sure that I did not follow those same steps this go around. I did place Marley twist on top of my locks, just to kind of help it to lock up in certain ways and also keep shape, because I knew I was not going to be doing palm rolling as consistently. So that, I think, for me did help, because it was very, very light on my hair. It actually just felt like a part of it, and I kept that in for about a month each time, in and out throughout. So yeah, please, all those questions that I listed, they will be in the description box. Please let me know, what do you think? Where are you at? Where are you at in your journey? Are you ready to start your journey? Have you been having questions about this during your journey, before your journey? Let's please create a dialogue. Let's please put down some questions. Please tell me your story and put down questions, because what I would like to do, if anything, is take everybody's questions and make another video to get that and broadcast that out, because I think I'm not the only one that has these questions around this subject and around just multiple subjects of what it means to transform hair and what it means to understand your hair in the state that it's currently in, and realize that that might not be what it turns into after you've transformed it in another journey. So yeah, like always, peace, love, and blessings, and I hope to hear from you guys soon. I hope you're staying safe, and